Buzzers and Loyals. Oh my gosh. Episode 9. We are one away from the season finale, and we actually got to interview the soon-to-be queen herself, Genevieve Gaunt, and we can't wait to share that with you. You won't want to go away.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
It's the second to last time.
I cannot believe it. Can you believe it?
Orchestrating God Save the Queen. God Save the Queen.
Seriously, save her in this instance because man, oh man, she might be going soon. But hey guys, welcome back to our lovely Royals after show. I've got my lovely lady, Fern, Ronay.
Hi, hello there.
And I'm Nasta, and man, oh man, do we have a lot to discuss.
Yes.
Overall thoughts of this episode.
I am just like, if they leave us hanging in the finale and they don't tell us that there's definitely a season 5, I will show up at the gates of Lion Gate TV. I will write season 5 myself. It won't be as good.
We will act it out in puppet characters.
We'll do a diorama, Allie and I. We will make season 5 happen. We promise. Mark our words. But they can't do that to us.
I really hope they don't, because obviously we are obsessed with the show, as we know you guys are. And there's so much they need to cram into an episode, to the last episode. So that's what's freaking me out.
Right.
So
they have a lot of work to do in the last episode.
Yeah. So it's a little stressful. And we know that there is somewhat of a wedding. No,
Yes.
We don't know how that's going to end. But we had the lovely pleasure of interviewing Genevieve Gaunt, who obviously plays Willow, and she shared some amazing information on her experience on the Royals, and obviously being the possibly future queen in Royals world.
Yes.
And we want to share that with you, so we will be streaming that in right now.
We will definitely be doing the recap,
Yes.
but we're going to play her interview first. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a little bit of a delay because she's, of course, in the UK.
Yeah, yeah. So please
We've
stick
got
around.
The girl who would be, could be, shall be queen, Genevieve Wilhelmina Gaunt, a.k.a. Willow Moreno. We are so excited to be chatting with you. We're in LA, you're in the UK. There's a little bit of a delay that happens, but we are so excited to be chatting with you.
Hello, thank you for having me. Yes, I'm in London. It's amazing what technology can do, isn't it? Hello.
Isn't it? So I have to ask you, your middle name really is Wilhelmina, right?
Yes. Do you want to know how that came about?
Yes, please.
Okay, so when I started off in the Royals in season 2, I auditioned for the part of Florence. Just a girl called Florence who was a polo player. Yeah, I meet Liam in season 2 and we have a little interchange. And I auditioned for Florence, and then I met Mark, and the writers, they loved my middle name, which is Wilhelmina. And so I got on set and they were like, yeah, your character's called Wilhelmina. And the funny thing is that no one on set realized that it was my middle name. And so, it's shortened to Willow, which is a lot cuter because Wilhelmina sounds quite formal. But some people some of the cast were like, oh, thank God they shortened it to Willow because Wilhelmina, I mean, what a mouthful, right? And I'd be like, yeah, guys, that's my middle name. And their faces would be like,
that is so funny. I love that. So are you named after someone?
I have Scotch and Dutch heritage, and Wilhelmina is a Scottish and Dutch name. So I think I had grandmothers on both sides, funnily enough, who were called Wilhelmina. But yes, I think actually there's a Dutch queen, Wilhelmina.
Oh, nice. Perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, that is perfect.
We love it. That's such a great story. It's such a great name. I like Willow and Wilhelmina.
Yeah, Wilhelmina of the Netherlands. Yeah, she was a queen. But we don't know if Willow will become queen. We don't even know who gets married. Someone gets married in the last episode.
Well, that's my... Thank you for bringing that up, because I noticed in IMDb for season 4, episode 10, there are people, wedding guest and reporter, and it looks like there's going to be a wedding, but yes, yeah, we don't want to get you in trouble, but I'll ask you this. From social media coordinator to queen, did they give you any heads up on your character's arc? Like, how far in advance? Would you have seen that in season 2?
Not at all. I think it's probably the most fascinating aspect of the Royals that sets it apart from a lot of TV shows, in the sense that it's very, very dynamic as a program in terms of the character progressions. The writers, they write as they go along, and they see how the chemistry between the actors and the characters, how they develop. And so the parts grow and change as they're filming. So we as actors are we get the scripts about 2 weeks before we film them, which is quite unusual. So they're only about an episode or 2 ahead of us. So no, in season 2, I started off as having, one line, or, not one line, but I had, a very small part, and then it's grown really.
Right.
So, no, when I started off in season 4, I had absolutely no idea where Willow was going to go.
Oh, wow. Even up to season 4. That's amazing. That's amazing that they do it like that.
It is.
Especially because,
it is amazing because, yep.
Oh, go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
no, go ahead.
No.
Oh.
I was going to say, it's, what's amazing about it is that, we've got fantastic writers, and it means that as actors, we're like people in real life almost. We don't know what's going to happen. You can't play the end before it's happened. It's quite, Anyway, sorry, carry on. What were you saying?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, when we first got introduced to Willow's character, we got little bits and pieces, like you said, the one-liners, and it was really exciting to see the progression and see you get infiltrated more and more, because your character is so loving and lovely. So it's just been fun to see that kind of grow and turn into what it is today.
They must have seen that in you, that they were like, she's very likable. We have to do something with her.
Well, it's funny. It's again, it's a little bit like life. I meet Liam at a party, and he kind of get to know each other, and relationships grow, and then she becomes more and more involved in the family. They just happen to be the royal family, and things progress from there. I mean, so Willow is an absolute sweetheart, but she does have a naughty side, and she likes doing, she likes partying and stuff, and that was something that came out in episode 7. There was a tiny clip of it. When she gets kind of trolled, and they find these really embarrassing photographs and stuff of her. Well, Clark Mathis, our director, who's incredible, he's also formerly a DOP, and we went and filmed and took photographs of all this really embarrassing stuff. And one of those involved me dressing up in like tracky bums, like really kind of like when you're at university, when you're like, doing an all-nighter, pulling an all-nighter, writing an essay, your hair is really sloppy, you're in tracksuit bottoms and like eating like a burrito or whatever. Yeah, there was that. And I was like, I can't believe this is my job. Like, I actually am being paid to kind of eat a sandwich really messily. And then the best thing was having to stand up in front of the entire crew and be Willow doing a drunken rendition of It's Raining Men.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Yeah. If you go back, I'm actually going to post it on social media, because I've got the full video that our director sent me of me doing it. I will actually post it, because I think the world needs to see this.
Oh yes, we definitely do. Because I remember, obviously we remember seeing the little clips of the wild Willow from that they dug up, but I would love to see a full video.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll make you feel a lot better about any drunken karaoke you've ever done.
Too much fun. And we love, like, last episode was so hilarious, of you were tripping on some drugs. What was it like filming that? Were you having a blast?
That was actually so much fun. That was directed by James Lafferty, who was lovely. And
he's actually been on our show.
It's a very ambitious schedule. I see. Yeah, he's great. He's also he's a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fantastic director. He's really fantastic. He did episode 5 and 8. We had a lot of ambitious things to get done in that episode. The fire and the chocolate fountain and all that kind of stuff. But we just had such a blast. We kind of I got to improvise a lot and try a lot of different things out, and we played with the script. And I mean, it's a very good script to begin with, but it was so much fun. I mean, I was rolling around in a bedsheet for a week.
It's so great. Did he tell you to, like, some of the things, like you got to touch Elizabeth Hurley, where not a lot of people can say they touched her? Was that, did he tell you to improvise, or was that?
No, I just did it, and this was like, that's great, let's do it.
I love that wasn't in the script. That's awesome.
That is so fun. Wait,
No,
can
it
you?
wasn't in the script, no.
Can you tell us about the chocolate fountain? How many takes did you guys have to do? Did you have to come back separate days to shower and get that freshly filmed?
No, so that was kind of part of the kind of wonderful. Oh my God, it was quite something filming that, because we only had one take to get really messy. So it was quite, it's a stunt really.
Yeah.
And we had to get it in one go.
Wow.
Once we were all chocolatey, we could pour the chocolatey stuff as many takes as we wanted.
Uh-huh.
But that first, actually going into the fountain, because, time is money, and it's also, they've got a whole schedule to keep you when you're filming, so we really had to get that right the first time. So it was quite exciting, really.
Wow.
And that was with Cassandra, who's played by Emily Barber, who is lovely, although we look like we're about to kill each other. She's actually a really good friend now.
Aw, it's true acting. Was it really chocolate?
Yeah. Unfortunately not. I would have loved that. I know.
Aw. And
It was weird stuff. Actually, I have to say, it was lethal stuff. It was this kind of gloopy thing. It didn't taste of anything. It's totally non-toxic, but it's like olive oil. So when we had to stand on the floor, it was just sliding like a banana skin. It was crazy.
Oh
slippery.
my gosh.
Oh wow, what an experience though. And even in
It was quite something, yeah.
and even in season 2, you've gone you had to go toe to toe with Queen Helena even then.
Yeah.
And then leading all the way up to these seasons and the chocolate fountain. So is there any way that you prepared yourself for going in and going head to head with the Queen?
I think this is where the writers come in and kind of chemistry between actors kind of naturally kind of comes into play. Is that it's a crescendo, So you start quite small and as your characters start to get to know each other, there are little crackles and sparks and those relationships develop and the tensions develop. I love the relationship between Helena and Willow because I think they're both very capable women, but what we start to see is that they start to clash, and it's complicated because Willow obviously used to work in the palace, and that's a huge shift of power. Because if Willow does actually marry Robert, then her status is quite important. And Helena doesn't necessarily like losing that power. That's what she desperately tries to cling on to. But I just love acting with Liz, though. She's just great.
You're great with her.
Yeah.
You guys are terrific together.
Oh, thank you.
One of the, on the show, the characters, you kind of never know who to trust. They're always surprising us, right? Every week we're like, can you believe it? But I feel like the two that I do trust are Willow and Eleanor. They're the ones who I feel like they don't have ulterior motives. So without, we don't want you to say too much, but what can you say about Willow's feelings for Robert?
I think Willow's relationship with Robert is one of the most touching portrayals of love because I think it takes them both by surprise. because she has this crush on Liam, and then as she grows up, she finds real adult deep love that starts out as friendship and respect and takes her by surprise. That's what's so lovely about the way that their relationship develops. And Willow is definitely the lightness to his darkness, and I think they make a really good team. But neither character is quite what they seem, and I think that's what's quite enigmatic and engaging about them as a pair. And that's certainly something that I think fans are going to find quite exciting about episode 10. Is even Willow, all is not what it seems, and I think that will become more apparent with the season finale. Yes, Willow brings out a different side to Robert, and I think she is good, and she does have a good moral backbone. And as you'll see in episode 9, they go head to head on that, and she stands up to him, and I think that's really important, and it's nice. Yeah, like Princess Eleanor. There is a goodness and a straightforwardness there.
Mm-hmm.
That is quite reassuring, with all the conniving and all the labyrinthine underhand dealings that are going on, and all these naughty royals. Yeah.
It's so true. And it's so true that we've been hating Robert for so long. And then once I felt like love saved him. I felt like once he, the relationship started blossoming between him and Willow, I feel like Willow made us like him, made us see a different side of him. I mean, we still, aren't sure how we feel about him. And our mouths are agape at your revelation about episode 10. We can't wait. But I feel like she has a way of making people seem better.
Yeah, you gave Robert a redeemable characteristic that we didn't see before.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, ultimately, that's what makes our hearts swell. Watching, love scenes in TV and film, because ultimately, love can make people better. It makes them the best version of themselves. Mm-hmm. I think there's a line in some rom-com somewhere which is something like, "You make me want to be a better man." I remember swooning, because it's just that's kind of what we all hope for, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Definitely. Yeah, you've just added such a little twist to this kind of whole scary scenario, especially because we were thinking that maybe Willow would get more into the relationship just to be closer to Liam. But we see that it is very genuine. But kind of speaking of Willow and her character, do you and Willow share any characteristics?
Oh, gosh. That's it. A love of chocolate. Definitely. I think we both bounce back quite easily. Neither of us bear grudges. I don't think Willow does. I think I try to see the best in people. She definitely does. But I feel a sense of, I don't like meanness. I don't like it on set. I like people to be kind to one another. I think people, if they are supported and are made to feel good about themselves, then they can do their best job. And I think that's what Willow feels. And so we are different. And she's very sweet and very proper. But then she's not quite me, but we do share some characteristics. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, we do love Willow's character, so she's just added such a vivacious sense to the royal family and some hope, as we've just mentioned before.
Yes, much hope. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. We want to know what you're up to next. Hopefully, there will definitely be a season 5. We're hoping and praying, and always tweeting Renew the Royals. But we know that you're in a play this summer in London at the Park Theatre. Are you excited for that?
Yes, actually, we're on tour with it right now. So we're doing a UK tour. So we had our first week of the play, and then yes, we're at the Park Theatre in June. I'm absolutely loving it. I get to play a really fun, crazy part. It's fantastic.
I noticed you were in
It's called,
pigtails.
Monogamy.
Your character.
Sorry?
I noticed your character was in pigtails. I saw a picture.
Oh yes, on social media. Yeah, that's changed. That's changed slightly.
Oh, okay.
I mean, my character in the play couldn't be more different from Willow.
Oh, that was my next question.
Couldn't be more different.
Oh.
And yes, but there are definitely more drugs involved.
Oh.
But this time, my character takes them quite freely rather than being laced.
She sounds like Eleanor.
So this is
exactly. Yes, but we don't know. We'll find out any day now. I think about season 5. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
No, I was just gonna say it seems like she's a little bit more rebellious in a harsher character, I guess, than Willow. Not as proper.
Oh yes, no, definitely not as proper. Had a really difficult, challenging upbringing, and worked for a very privileged television chef in the play. So she's a girl on the wrong side of the tracks.
Oh, wow. She really is the opposite
So
of Willow.
it's interesting. I say you guys should come and see it, but you're all the way over in LA,
Love
which
to.
I love, by the way. I went in February for the first time. Gorgeous. I love America. I really do.
Oh, please let us know when you're back. We would love to meet you. I would love to see you. We would love to see you in the play. Is there any chance it'll be in the United States?
You never know. You never know. It depends how well it does. You know, it could come over. But yes, if and when my brother just moved to Los Angeles, actually.
Oh.
So if and when I come and visit, I will definitely have to pop in and say hello.
Yes,
For
I
sure.
noticed your tweet. You were in Venice Beach, which is right between Allie and I. I was like, Willow was only a mile from us. So crazy. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Wonderful.
And speaking of family, I know your parents are both actors, and it can always go either way. You know, they sometimes, when that's the case, they try to discourage their children from becoming actors, or they encourage them. What was your situation?
I don't think either, really. I was brought up on a diet of theatre and film and TV, and I fell quite naturally into it. I really wanted to do it from a young age, and I think as long as you can, find employment and it makes you happy, then your parents are going to be cool with that, and that's how it was. So, yeah, there's never been any conflict over it at all.
Oh, nice. And you're excellent at it, so
Yes.
it all worked out. Very nice.
Wow, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to do what you love, right?
Yeah,
Whatever that is.
Definitely.
Yep, it's the truth. Well, thank you again so much. I wish we could talk to you all night, but we'll get in trouble. But thank you so much. This was awesome.
Yeah, seriously, we really appreciate it. And obviously, we're huge fans, so it's just a privilege to have you on the phone and ask you these fun questions. So thank
guys
you.
are too sweet. You're so lovely. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a
too.
great
Oh, yeah.
night.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Oh, she's so lovely.
It's the sweetest.
She was so amazing, and I'm so glad we got to share that with you guys. And you know what else is really fun and helps you learn and grow in all areas of your life? We've got the perfect podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of your life, from health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and so much more. Let our Maria be the big sister that you've always wanted. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos, and it's free, guys. So be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know that it was the Royals ladies that brought you there. Again, that's Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition. Go check it out, download it. It is so much fun to listen to. You will not regret downloading this, and it's free, guys. And once you download it as a podcast, it doesn't take any of your data or anything, so you can listen to it anywhere at any time, which is phenomenal. Speaking of things that are phenomenal, This episode was.
I loved how they started it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so first of all, let's get into the whole Cyrus, Liam, and Helena situation.
Yes.
Like I'm like so mind blown. Were you expecting this at all?
No, when she turned around, I was like, what? And I loved, like, she had these, like, spike heels on with the red bottoms. I'm like, she's such a power queen. She's so, I don't know. She's just, like, she has such a presence.
Right.
And she turned around and I was like, she is going to either rip them to shreds and, like, just crucify them right there and they'll be crying. Or, like, I didn't even think, is she on their side? And then she was like, when she revealed she was, I was like, yes. We got the queen.
I 100% thought she was going to rip them to shreds as well. But it's so interesting that she's on their side and not Robbie's.
Yes.
Because I feel as if we've had a lot of situations where she's been protecting it, but do you think that's because she's been scared of him and what he's capable of?
Yeah, I feel like we learned in this episode, they gave us all of the explanations of all of the behavior over the past season. So when she said, my youngest son came to me and said he was concerned, which I think happened in episode 1 of the season. So since then, everything she's said and done has been colored by Robbie might not be who he says he is. She's been investigating. Who knew?
Right, which is so interesting. And we see that Aston was actually hired by her.
Yes.
So, which is so crazy because how did she even know that Cyrus was going to get banished?
I guess maybe the minute he got banished, she was like, called Aston and was like, keep an eye on him. He's going to be at the Venezuelan embassy. Pretend you're like, you've been exiled too, and tell me what side he's on. Is he like,
right?
You know, right. I don't know if Aston got the information that Cyrus was on Liam's side but I don't know.
Pull
He's
it out.
Keeping an eye on him.
Well, which was interesting is that, you know, Aston said the whole story about his brother. So I think also, I don't know if that story was actually true or not, or if it was Helena testing to see how he would feel and how he would respond to a story about losing your brother.
Yes, that's true. That's true. She might have been like, tell him the story, and if he reacts properly in respect of Simon, then we're going forward.
Right.
Right.
Which is so crazy because I was just shook at this news. I really couldn't understand it. But that's also how I felt when we figured out that, you know, that Cyrus and Liam were in this all together. And
yes.
And also we see that now we know that Liam has basically sent Catherine away. Mm-hmm. And Catherine is going to be told to come back when things are basically safe and the scene is safe.
Yes.
So getting into that whole Catherine situation, and they kind of panned it out a little bit more for us, I was really interested because we were wondering last episode, so how did Catherine go about telling Liam this? And it just kind of goes to show, so she has been kind of very skeptical of him ever since.
Right. So after that dinner, he made a comment, and we saw him kind of turn around, and he was, you know, we saw like from that camera angle that he kind of made an odd face. And she took his comment, like, it's good to see you, as he's up to something. And then from there, she was like, I guess the minute he told her that he had feeling, he's thinking he's setting her up. Then she tells Liam, and they're like, let's set him up together. And then we'll make him think that he's setting you up to see that my feelings aren't true.
Right, which was insane. And
insane. I feel like I need a flow chart.
No, really. And I feel like I need to watch that episode 5 times through again because it was so crazy how they did the sequence of showing you the background story of what had happened into that lead up with Cyrus and Liam's altercation, which I was very happy about.
Yes.
Because instead of just getting the information, we got to see it all play out.
I love that when he's like, fool. Yeah, fool works.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And they were like play acting, which was really funny. He's like, you wouldn't say that, which is so smart.
It was so perfect.
And we also got the explanation that apparently Cyrus has been doing some recon to find out that Robbie has been going down by the palace by his door at the same time every day.
So that makes sense now.
But also that makes me question, if Robbie's walking by the same time every day, what was he doing? What's his plan?
Right.
Or is it like because of scheduling purposes with his job?
Yeah, it could be either. Like
Okay.
maybe every day he has to be like in the blue room of the palace for whatever reason, and so he has to walk past. Or he's up to something.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
But I feel like you shouldn't do the same thing every day because that doesn't benefit you.
Right.
At the same time every day. I don't know.
Yeah,
And
especially in this palace.
They live in a palace. Like, they didn't have someone right away fix the hole in the door.
Yeah,
There
that
was a
was
whole-
kind of insane. Because when did that happen? What episode ago?
I
It was
feel like that was...
at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, so maybe it was still the beginning of the season, but I feel like it's not like
Right, like,
like
it
your
should
apartment building. Like, I have a hole, can you fix
well,
it?
and
they
these
come 2
doors are
weeks
like
later.
probably made of real wood. So
Right.
how really like transparent can you actually hear it through it?
Right.
You know? I don't know. Crazy stuff. Crazy man. I just
But I'm
can't
glad they
even-
showed that because then
Yes.
I'm like, oh, okay, it makes a little more sense.
Right.
And I love that she winked at Liam.
Yes.
Yes. Because
And-
my heart was breaking for him, but now I'm like, okay, so I didn't have to be so upset.
Right. Well, man, I was in an emotional state when I saw that. I'm like, why does Liam always get the crap end of the stick?
I know.
But what's really funny too is in one of the royal hangovers, they were talking about how Catherine can't wink in real life. And and so they were saying how it took her so many shots to actually be able to wink because she doesn't know how to do it.
Funny. Did she wink at another part?
Yeah, she winked at a part when they were in the ballroom and were pretending to not date until
Yes.
it was like right before the big reveal of them dating outward when Liam went to go save Willow from
Yes.
the
Yes.
press and
So
everything.
now we know she had to wink more than once.
Right, which like this was a good one too. It was
Yeah.
a full on like one
Yes.
nod wink.
It was an excellent wink.
It was, and I'm really glad that we will be seeing Catherine again, and she will be being
Yes.
brought back when everything is a-okay and
Yes.
safe. But let's get into a little bit of let's get into Willow and Robbie first. So obviously, we see the past couple of episodes now, they've kind of been struggling, and there's been this separation between them where Willow's like, look, I can't just have you be throwing me around and like a rag doll. Like, I'm not that kind of girl, and you knew that getting into this engagement. And he goes about it in such a terrible way. And anyways, this whole fight, when he asked for the ring back, what were your thoughts?
I was like, wait, I know there's going to be a wedding in episode 10, so what's going on?
Right.
I was like, oh my God, how is this going to play out? And then, of course, we know he just proposes again. But I think they also were trying to show fractures in the relationship. Like, if she doesn't go through with it next week, it's not just because the rest of the royal family exposed him. It's because he basically asked her to, like, be a wife who says nothing and just looks good, which she did not appreciate, rightfully so. So I think there's and he keeps secrets from her. He doesn't tell her. They're going to be husband and wife. They're going to have to talk about everything. How do you not tell her you're going to disband the parliament?
Right.
So there's fractures in the relationship besides the fact that he might have killed his father and also like hurt everyone in his family.
Right, which is crazy. And also, we now know that it's 100% true that he set up the blackout.
Mm-hmm. That could have hurt a lot of people and probably did hurt a lot of people, but made him look good and made Parliament look bad.
Well, and what's crazy too is the whole blackout situation harmed small businesses, and we see that with Catherine's family. It tore everything to shreds, and they had to, they have to build down from the ground up now. So when the town and the country finds out that it was on purpose, that is not going to end well. No. And so if they're able to really kind of get this information out, like it's not going to be a good thing.
Right. That's such a good point, because you think of it like abstractly, like, oh, so we had the lights turned out, big deal. But it hurt
mayhem.
A lot of people, including like her family.
Yeah, business, and it destroyed the town, and it caused a lot of turmoil.
Yeah.
And it's probably still, if you were to think about the royals in the real world, would still be getting built up.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of damage that happened.
Yes.
But that whole ring situation freaked me out for a second.
Too.
But I am really happy that, with Willow and Robbie's relationship, it is very on the forefront, and she tells it how it is, which goes to show, Robbie, maybe you were a little silly, because I'm now thinking you just brought up about how he wanted her to be this, just don't say anything, go for the face, go for the show. Is he an idiot because he knows that she's a fighter?
Right. He knows she's smart. She's not going to want to just do that. So, yeah.
And so I guess my question is, he almost wanted an easy way out for a wedding and for a wife. So why did he choose Willow?
Right. He should have chose Cassandra, who would have done that just fine.
Yeah, because she just wanted to just be the face. She didn't want to do anything else.
So maybe it shows that he either has an ulterior motive for picking Willow, or he really likes her.
Which is confusing to me.
Which is confusing to me, too.
Which, like, yeah, because it's like, yeah, that whole scenario is just kind of confusing because you don't know if he actually likes Len. And we do have some fans that have tweeted us, and they really do believe in Robbie, and they believe he's not in the wrong.
Right.
But now with this information about the power outage, I believe that our theories in the beginning were 100% correct, and he's not a good guy.
Right. Yeah, like someone, I don't know if you want to mention it now, but someone at Morgan, India, we always appreciate other perspectives, said that she pointed out that Liam and Catherine really did do Robbie wrong, which they kind of should have told him up front what was going on. So yeah, they did do that not the proper way. And she doesn't think he has anything to do with his father's death because he would have had to time it perfectly. But remember the hourglass? Remember he was obsessed with that? He did time it perfectly, I think. But she also says Liam's behavior has been appalling. He did hold a gun to his head.
That's true. We haven't forgotten about that, Morgan.
She makes really good points. But then at the same time, if you think you're really right, if you're Liam, you're not doing these appalling things because you're a bad guy. You're doing it because
you're protecting your family.
You're like, this guy
is just living amongst us.
Yes.
100%. But yeah, we understand that everybody has different theories.
And we appreciate and we love it. So please always tweet us.
Yeah. So
whether you agree with us or not.
And my theories, that's just how it's all lining up to kind of be laid out on the table. But that kind of gets us into Len and Willow's relationship, which if we backtrack just a second, was there something you wanted to say?
No.
Okay, so backing track just to Jasper and Liam's relationship. So they're working together now, and Liam has basically kind of come clean to Jasper, and he was like, look, I can basically almost die, lose everything in this palace, but I'm willing to do it because I believe in you and I believe in this plan. Which was a very powerful moment. Yes. Especially because we know how him and Len have been so strong in this relationship so far. So, I mean, what were you thinking during that encounter?
Jasper really has so much to lose because Len believes Robbie's a good guy.
Yeah.
She's so adamant about it. But Jasper, so he could, by taking Liam's side, lose Eleanor, lose his job, possibly lose his life if something goes really awry. He has so much to lose, but I think he just sees that Liam's a good guy and ultimately is protecting Eleanor anyway.
Right, and by ultimately protecting Eleanor, we see that because he goes and tells Len right away. So there's so many things that happen.
I know.
And we're like, so he has to then explain all of this to Len in a way that's not going to make her angry. When she left that room, I thought she was going to be totally on Robbie's side.
Yes, me too.
So this is a question for maybe you guys as well. Me and Fern and I we're speaking before the podcast, and we're just really confused because obviously, Willow states back to Len these words that Robbie said to her, which convinces her that she wants to marry him and it's the love of her life. But these words came from Eleanor's letter from Christmas to Jasper from the Christmas letter that no one ever knows what happened because Robbie stole it.
Right.
So our question, I guess, is how did Len figure out that that's what he was saying?
Right. If I was Eleanor and I was thinking, they're telling me Robbie's a bad guy, what has he done? And if Jasper said, remember that letter? Let's say they put it in her mind. How would she even make the connection? He stole that letter. He probably, what are the chances that he would repeat the same words to Willow?
Wait, you know what it makes me think of? When Willow said, when they saw each other down in that hallway, did Willow speak first and say something?
Yeah, she was she just said, what's wrong?
Yeah.
And then Eleanor said, is Robbie a good guy? And she said, yes, without a doubt. And then she said, tell me what you said. And Willow was like, it was kind of between us. And she's like, please.
Yeah.
And then she started saying what she said, and it must have sounded familiar to
Okay, so it sounded familiar. So that's what I was... It's so funny. Guys, Fern just had a realization moment, but I needed her to do that. I needed her to repeat it back to me because I was trying to put the pieces together. So clearly Willow said something that triggered an emotion for Len.
So up to that point, Eleanor was like, no, Robbie's a good guy. And
Ding,
in
ding,
that
ding.
moment, she realized, no, Robbie's a
Yes.
bad guy. Okay,
Okay.
so that was the moment she put it
Yeah.
together.
So she basically started hearing words and she was just like, no, he trusts me. He does this. And then that was kind of like the same thing. Okay, good.
Yes.
We've got
So
it,
the
guys.
the light bulb went off for Eleanor. She's like, he took that letter. He didn't want me to be with Jasper. He got in the way. He's a bad guy. You can't marry him.
Yay. Okay. Loving it. We are getting these pieces together.
Takes more than one.
Yeah, it does, because there's so many things that are happening per episode, and we see Len kind of struggle for a little bit as well, because not only is she finding out that Robbie is against her, we have Len being ousted as as Robin Hood, which was
Yeah.
very heartbreaking, because this is the one thing that she had, and she wanted to help people, and it was just beyond cute that Jasper
Yes.
showed her the article that you have changed people's lives. You're still doing your good deeds.
Yeah, that was really sweet. But I felt bad for her because, like, she made a really good point. It's just doing good things for people. Why? Who would want to stop this? It's such a good point, and she's right. And then we learn,
Yeah, which leads us to Helena and Sebastian's relationship. And it just kind of is confusing me a little bit, because now I'm realizing Sebastian might be more of a bad guy than we think he is.
Yeah.
Because he's almost been, this ear that's listened out for Helena and obviously listened out for Len. And he could be repeating everything back to Robbie. And obviously, Helena, her face was distraught because obviously she knows Robbie's a little bit of a bad guy. So, put those two together. We don't know what Sebastian's capable of.
Right. So she tested him and said, whatever Colin York is pursuing a coup against Robbie, which wasn't true. But when Robbie said that, she knew that Sebastian had told him that. So she tested him. He failed. And then he was obviously the one who told Robert about the Robin Hood, who probably told the press, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is just crazy, because it's making me think back to why, because obviously Robbie was the one that brought Sebastian into the scenario for the first place. We didn't know where he came from. We didn't really understand how he was royal or whatever. I mean, we did, because he came from, it was a different country. But then he takes Len away and gives her this dream job that she can't turn down. And the only reason she comes back, and it's almost like this was timed perfectly. It's almost like Robbie kind of knew when it was time to bring Len back, even though obviously it had nothing to do with the shooting. It's just confusing, because Sebastian was like, read the letters, do all this. So was Robbie doing, Robbie had something planned while she was gone.
Right. So Robbie must have been intervene in the letters, and then I'll tell you when it's okay to let her read them and have her come back.
Right.
But he had to keep her at bay for however long. Maybe he thought she would, but no, if he showed her the letters, then her feelings for Jasper are going to be strong.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what's kind of confusing, because Sebastian could be a bad guy, but then we don't know where his loyalty really lies.
Yeah.
So that's
confusing.
freaking crazy. Man, we're running out of time, but really quick. So we just have, I guess the last piece of this puzzle was Helena playing poker, which was so amazing. And she did a little manipulation on that side.
Yes.
But is there any last things that you want to say?
No, I loved it when she took off her dress or her top, and I was like, oh, you're better than that. But then she revealed it was the wire. I was like, yes!
I had a feeling it was a wire, because there was no way she was just going to let him go.
Never, yeah.
No, and I'm glad that we finally have a bunch of people on Team Liam, and they're about to take down Robbie.
Yes.
So, flash lightning round predictions. Let's get into it.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I don't think that Willow goes through with it.
Okay.
I think she exposes him during the vows, and then I think Jasper and Eleanor get married.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. Wait, I have a question. It's kind of a prediction question. Do you think that Robbie's going to be taken down in this instance?
Yeah.
Or do you think he's going to have some sort of proof to negate all of this?
I think he's going to be taken down. He's going to get desperate. He's going to draw his sword from his, whatever uniform he's in, and hold it to someone's neck. And then they're going to be like, see you next season. There better be another season.
I can't believe we only have one episode left.
I can't take it.
This is crazy. I can't take it either. My predictions is, I think that the wedding's definitely not going to happen. And Robbie, I will say, will be taken down, but we don't know the extent of it until hopefully we get a season 5, which #renew Royals season 5, guys. Let's get this trending. Do we have a fan we want to shout out really quick?
And also, let's see. Well, thank you, Morgan India, and thank you. Oh, I was favoriting a lot of tweets of, I don't know how to pronounce it, at JAIRUGAR, who gave me the first idea that the letter was, because I didn't figure it out at first, that
Right.
the letter was the one that was stolen by Robbie. So
Which-
you're an awesome Royals tweeter, so thank you for all your good info.
You guys are so amazing. We are so thankful for you every week because we have so much fun discussing this. And I
Yes.
can't wait to discuss the season finale, but I'm also so sad
I
that it's
know.
wrapping
It's
up.
bittersweet.
So bittersweet. Fern, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Fern Ronay, Ronay, and my website, fernronay.com.
And hey guys, Ali Nasta here. Find me on Twitter at Ali Nasta and on Instagram at Ali Girl. And of course, follow AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms. And of course, please continue to tweet us. We love seeing that. And again, let's get Royals Season 5 trending so we can help get this renewed. We'll see you next
Please.
week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.